I think if you go to the start of 2021, we were all rejoicing when off the back of the vaccine programme being rolled out. I think if we look even further back than that into 2019 and the start of the pandemic, I think the economy proved that it was really resilient. I think a lot of that was to do with people became accidental savers. They were suddenly locked up, unable to go anywhere. I think that the support that the government actually offered over that period was exceptional to people that were unable to go to work. But what it actually meant, they weren't able to go on holiday. They weren't able to go to restaurants and spend money where they were used to spending spare cash. So like I said, people became accidental savers. If we look at inflation, yesterday was announced at 5.1%. Which is the highest it's been for actually 10 years. I expected property prices to kind of start to peter out or at least level off. It really doesn't appear to be the case. The only reservation I may have on that statement is if the Bank of England start to look at raising interest rates to try and combat inflation. I think the Bank of England have resisted it because they're desperate for the economy to get back going, and raising interest rates will mean that those businesses that have suffered and have had to borrow in that period will then only have to pay more back from a borrowing perspective. So they've got to balance that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 0.5% jump, so from a 0.25 to maybe 0.75. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at the end of the year as hitting a 1% or even fraction higher than that. But remember, interest rates are still historically low, so it's very, very cheap to borrow money. If you look at an average mortgage of about 150,000 over a 25-year period, it's not unusual to be paying around about a 2% interest rate at this moment in time. The payments on that will be close to around £540 a month. Let's say it went at 1%. You'd be then paying closer to £620 a month. So it's an increase of about £80 a month, give or take. But that's not the only thing that you have to consider. If we look at the cost of energy that's risen significantly over the last couple of months, these are all the things that people have to factor in when they're looking at moving to a bigger house. I do still expect to see strong growth in the US economy, especially given that most of the big tech companies are based in the US today. But I could be wrong. You know, we don't always get these things right, of course. I think the UK market has been resilient to COVID. I still think that the fallout from Brexit hasn't been felt. But if you look at the things to really be mindful of, and when we produce a portfolio for any client, is diversification. Not having all your eggs in one basket. We use property as a good diversification tool so people can have a good spread across various different assets to achieve the best growth and spread the risk.